Stonehenge. We all think we know it, right? It sits there on Salisbury Plain, this silent, mysterious giant. We talk about the sun, the giant sarsen stones, the smaller blue stones. But today, we're not just looking at it. We're cracking a cold case that goes right to its very heart.
Okay, let's get straight to it. Our victim, if you will, is the altar stone. It's that huge 6-ton slab of sandstone lying right in the middle of everything. For years, everybody just assumed it came from Wales with the other blue stones. It was a neat, tidy theory that just made sense.
But what if that neat, tidy theory was totally, completely wrong? What if the real story of Stonehenge's heart didn't start a couple hundred kilometers away in Wales, but stretched clear across the entire island of Britain?
Yeah, in 2024 it was. A forensic bombshell just dropped and it completely rewrote the story we thought we knew. Scientists used a brand new technique on the altar stone, and believe me, it changed everything.
Right, and the technique itself is pretty amazing. It's called zircon geochronology. So what scientists did was look at these tiny microscopic zircon crystals that are trapped inside the sandstone. You can think of it like finding geological DNA. You see, each little crystal has uranium in it, and that uranium decays into lead at a perfectly steady known rate. So by measuring that decay, you can create a unique fingerprint for where that rock came from.
And when they ran the DNA test, wow, the results were just staggering. That fingerprint wasn't a match for Wales, not even close. It was a perfect match for something called the Old Red Sandstone, which is found in the Orcadian Basin, all the way up in northeast Scotland.
Let's just be crystal clear about what that number means. 750 kilometers. That's 460 miles. The people who built Stonehenge somehow managed to haul a 6-ton block of stone from basically the northern tip of Scotland all the way down to Salisbury Plain.
So this just blew the case wide open, and it immediately gave us two prime suspects for how this happened. Was it just the brute force of a massive glacier? Or was it the almost unbelievable power of human ingenuity?
I mean, you have to ask, right? A giant sheet of ice just grinding its way across the land. That seems way more likely than Neolithic people getting together and organizing a 460-mile trek with a rock that weighs as much as an elephant.
No, just no. That's lazy archaeology. It's the easy answer, and it completely falls apart the second you actually look at the science. To be blunt, the whole glacier theory, it's dead in the water.
Okay, so let's break down this forensic duel. On one side, you've got the glacial erratic theory. The idea is that the stones were just random debris dropped by melting ice sheets. On the other side, you have the human sledge theory, which is backed by a mountain of evidence that points to people deliberately moving these stones from specific quarries.
Let's just dismantle the glacier idea with facts. One, we have ice flow models. They show that the glaciers in Scotland moved north, away from Stonehenge, the opposite direction. Two, not a single confirmed piece of Scottish glacial rock has ever been found on Salisbury Plain. There are no geological breadcrumbs. And that so-called key piece of evidence, the Newell boulder, forensic analysis confirms it's not a glacier rock. It's just quarry waste left by humans. The case is closed.
So if the ice theory is a bust, that leaves us with an even bigger, crazier question. If people moved it, how on earth did they pull that off 5,000 years ago? I mean, this wasn't just a challenge, it was a totally impossible seeming feat of engineering.
The numbers are just staggering when you think about it. You've got 6 tons, you've got 750 kilometers, and you've got people doing this 5,000 years ago with 0 wheels, no big animals to pull it, and no metal tools. So how in the world did they solve that basic physics problem?
Well, through a lot of experiments, we have a really good idea. It's called the sledge on rails method. It's actually genius. You put the massive stone on a wooden sledge, then you lay a path of timber rails in front of it, probably greased up with animal fat to make them slippery. A big team pulls it forward, and here's the clever part. As the sledge moves past the rails, you just pick them up from the back and move them to the front. It's like a continuous mobile railroad track.
And that just illustrates that this wasn't just an engineering problem. This was a massive social project. You're talking about something that would have taken hundreds of people, incredible organization, and a level of commitment that could have spanned years, maybe even an entire decade.
Which brings us from the how to the why. I mean, why would you go to such absolutely extraordinary lengths? The reason, the motivation, must have been incredibly powerful. This wasn't just about building a temple. This was about making a huge statement.
And what's so cool is that a clue might have been hiding in plain sight for centuries, in a 900-year-old legend. It's a story about the wizard Merlin moving a magical stone circle called the Dance of the Giants from a really distant mountain all the way to Salisbury Plain to act as a memorial.
For a long time, everyone thought, okay, that's just a myth. But then, archaeologists found it. The remains of a dismantled stone circle in Wales called Wan Mon. It was built and then taken down, right around the time the first blue stones show up at Stonehenge. The circle has the exact same diameter as Stonehenge's blue stone ring. So the old legend might actually be true. Stonehenge might literally be a second-hand monument, moved by an entire community of people as they migrated.
And the hard science completely backs this story up. Using something called strontium isotopes in cremated human bones, we can actually track where people grew up. And the analysis of the very first burials at Stonehenge is clear. While most were local, at least 16% had lived their lives in West Wales. People didn't just move the stones, they moved with them.
So when you put all of these pieces together, the geology, the engineering, the legends, and the actual human remains, a completely new and profound picture of Stonehenge starts to emerge.
Yeah, you realize the stones weren't just building materials. The blue stones from Wales, and now we know the altar stone from Scotland. They were symbolic. They were like delegates, representing different ancestral communities from all across the island, all being brought together in one secret place.
And this really sums it all up, from Professor Mike Parker Pearson. Stonehenge wasn't some local temple, it was a national project, a massive, monumental effort to create a microcosm of Britain itself, unifying all these different peoples and their ancestors in one landscape.
It just leaves you with this really powerful thought, doesn't it? This was basically the Neolithic version of a nation-building project, a physical symbol of unity. And if our ancestors 5,000 years ago could pull off that level of cooperation with nothing more than timber, rope, and stone, it kind of makes you wonder, what's our excuse today?
Every deep dive we take here at the Deep Dive Curiosity Vault is fueled by your curiosity. If this investigation gave you a new perspective today, please hit the like button. It helps our vault reach more explorers like you. Subscribe to join our next mission by clicking the icon on the screen and check out our most recent investigation right here. As we continue to uncover the hidden truths of our world, stay curious.